We can look deeper at the supply chains. The problems are well documented, as the International Chamber of Shipping, ICS, wrote. Global supply chains are beginning to buckle as 2 years worth of strain on transport workers take their toll. This letter that was written by the ICS has also been signed by the International Air Transport Association, the International Road Transport Union, and the International Transport Workers Federation. They represent together 65 million transport workers globally. Quote, all transport sectors are also seeing a shortage of workers and expect more to leave as a result of the poor treatment millions have faced during the pandemic, putting the supply chain under a greater threat. I think a lot of these people are going to be leaving because they oppose vaccine mandates, but that's a different story. So now, preparedness. Obviously, when you're looking at what you need, first and foremost, you need water and food. I think a lot of people emphasize guns. That's interesting, and I think important and an important foundation of this country. But you need water first. You need food first, so you can go and get foods that aren't going to spoil. The reason why a lot of people go and they buy storable food is for the taste. You don't want to be eating beans and rice forever. So if you go to a company that's creating storable food, you can store meals. Coffee, like you said, you're gonna want coffee if there's something that you drink, and if you have the option to have it in case you're not able to go to the store and get it, or it becomes like wildly expensive, then you can store that. I went to a preparedness expo here locally last weekend in Sandpoint, Idaho, and it was a preparedness expo, and the people there was all sorts of cool stuff. There's a guy who's creating, it's called Patriot Systems. He's creating a solar panel, like a portable solar panel for your backyard that plugs in. This thing's massive, but it also folds up so that you could pull it on a 150, 250 type truck. And then there was a class there on how you're going to live through an extended power outage. And what's extended power outage? Is it a day? Is it 2 days, 3 days? No, he was talking months. And this gentleman, Tony Bootham, I believe was his name, was laying out what sorts of things you might need and how you might prepare. I'll put that up live on my channel, that talk at GoldSilverBitcoin, a YouTube channel soon. There was a wealth of information that this guy was discussing, from how to store water to just where you can have places in your home which are perhaps insulated so they stay warmer, where you can kind of, I guess, go and hang out and kind of build up the warmth in this room. And apparently this was something that a lot of homes used to have probably before World War II. And then also herbal medicine. They were talking about herbal medicines. It's funny because these are all like preppers and you think they're like crazy, like just right wingers or whatever. But in many ways, they're more hippie than the liberals of today. Herbal medicine. And the general awareness of this crowd that, they might not always have the accoutrement of civilization was not paranoid, but just practical. PrepCom was another company there, and they have like a Morse code system where you can, I guess, easily interpret Morse code. It'll interpret it for you, I believe, is the product. And then moving on from there, then I guess networks of people. Like, you need to meet like-minded people in your community. Now, a really easy way to do this is on Facebook. There's groups of people who are like-minded, who are perhaps preparing themselves, or they have lived on a homestead or in a farm, and they just have more knowledge than those urban dwellers. Finding these people and learning from them in these groups, you don't even need to participate. You can just read, is hugely beneficial. I would recommend that these groups consider an alternative to Facebook. That is where many of them are. We should be on Facebook, and like Gary Vaynerchuk says, on multiple platforms. And one thing I think Gary Vaynerchuk's missing his opportunity on are some of these new alternative platforms, whose reputations are soiled by mainstream media like Gab and others. These are not like hotbeds of racism. They're just normal people, just like those on Twitter, perhaps less venomous, quite frankly.